Today I'm here with Super 32 champ Ryan Burton from St. Joe's Montvale. Ryan, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, big weekend. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it was awesome.
How many matches did you have?
So I had three the first day and then three the second day, so six in total.
Nice. Nice. And what are your thoughts on your overall performance? I mean, obviously you won. That's a great thing, but talk about your performance and your mindset throughout the competition.
Yeah, so I knew it was gonna be a long tournament. Last year I lost in the first round. I had to wrestle back a lot, so definitely had to go into it thinking like be prepared for it all. Whatever happens, just gotta keep wrestling. But I thought I wrestled really good. Kept all my offense going throughout the whole tournament, scoring a lot. Got a few pins, so just felt really good throughout the whole tournament.
Awesome. Awesome. And talk about, so we got to give Coach John Wilkins a shout out here. I heard you talk
Yeah.
about your strength in your interview after. Talk about him, his impact on you, and how that's helped.
Yeah, so he patting this bar, and I've been going to him since like COVID when there was like no training. So we've been working on this bar, and he ended up making his own bar, and it's just doing like this muscle in motion and like these little ligaments that nobody really knows about, and it's just really improving my game. And John Wilkins has been great for me, and continue to train with him. I think it's gonna be like through the roof potential.
Awesome. Yeah, I met him over the summer at the when I spoke at the National Wrestling Coaches Convention. He had me doing the finisher with the suit on.
Yeah, yeah, he loves
Awesome.
getting the guys on it. He always puts the coaches on. He says he loves seeing people in pain.
Absolutely. I just
Yeah.
got off the phone not long ago with Nate Jackson over at Princeton, the New Jersey Regional Training Center, and he was saying that John was just over there putting them through a workout and that it was great. So that's good stuff. So talk about what do you have coming up next?
So I think it's just gonna be the season for now. I Super 32 was like the big one. It was like the whole off season was just preparing for this and doing Fargo and that, but it was like Super 32. I gotta get that one under my belt, and then yeah, so season should be next for me.
Nice, nice. And talk about Virginia Tech.
Yeah. Uh, so college process, it was pretty long. Got the calls after June 15th, but I went on three visits and I just went on Virginia Tech. I was with Jimmy Mullen, my old teammate, and Frankie DeBella, actually my teammate now, was down there with us. So it was like just felt like home. It felt like I wasn't even on a visit. I was already on the team. So it was just awesome.
That's nice, especially when you already have that camaraderie with the guys on your team and they're over there. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, talk about how your mindset has developed over time. What are some of the things you've done, and even maybe some of the things you look back on that if you could tell yourself when you were younger what you would have focused on, maybe differently or maybe more optimally. What would you say?
Um, the past 2 years, I had like a problem in the semifinals. I was always getting caught up in the semis. I was losing every round in the semis. I'd be like knowing I'm better than these kids, and it was just like a mental like block. I would say, just I couldn't get past the semis. And this tournament was like the first one where I felt like mentally free, and I was like trying to watch film, and I was like just so prepared that I was like I don't even need to watch these guys anymore. I was like my mindset was just keep attacking, and whatever I bring out, I just have to see throw the fast pitch when he's expecting a curveball. So
The time is now to take your mindset to the next level with Wrestling Mindset. Make sure you go to our website, wrestlingmindset.com, and sign up for your free trial session today. Don't wait any longer. You want the mental edge right now. When you sign up for the free trial session, you're also going to get a copy of our free ebook, Building the Predator Mindset. This book has helped thousands of people build confidence, relax under pressure, get motivated, and build mental toughness in wrestling, school, and life. Make sure you sign up for your free trial session today. Yeah, absolutely. Detaching from that outcome, and yeah, sometimes we get caught up in what round it is. Then it gets in our head as opposed to just, hey, going out there and wrestling, letting it fly, kind of like what you were saying right there. Just
yeah,
bring your best to the table.
yeah, that was a big thing. It was just always getting caught up in that round, and I think that you know the training, just trusting your training, your coaches, it's just that's how you're gonna get past those rounds.
Definitely trust. That's a good word right there because everyone talks about confidence, right? Everyone in the world, how do I be more confident? But if you look at the Latin roots of confidence, confidere, which means to trust.
Yeah,
So you want confidence, you have to be able to trust.
yeah,
Talk about that. I mean, obviously, it's like yes, there's, and that's why I bring up the physical and the mental. All you've been doing for obviously your strength conditioning, of course, technique. And then you have the mindset. It's got to be both. It can't just be blind confidence and yeah, you're just hyping yourself up. It's got to be based on something, right?
Yeah, so you put all this work in training. It's like you don't want to go out there and be mentally out of it. Your body's not performing as much as it can. So, you really want to reward yourself. You're like putting all these hours in. It's just like trusting it. You put the work in already. You just got to perform.
Absolutely. And talk about performing also in the great team, defending state champs, St. Joe's Mafia. I mean, huge, huge. And last year, the team beating Del Barton in the state championship. Talk about that. You guys are always being tested, constantly good competition. And now, of course, the expectations, but we don't want to get caught up in the expectations. How do you keep a level head and stay calm when obviously there's all the excitement at these dual meets and so many good guys wrestling?
Yeah, so transfer from DePaul, I knew Joe's was like we're gonna be top 3 in the state at least, and we ended up outperforming that. But I think a lot of it comes from how close we got as a team, and we were in the room. We knew what we had. Nobody else knew. We were going to the state finals. Everyone had Del Barton written down. It was like matchups were just not looking in our favor, and we just stayed it with it. We knew in the locker room. We were like, we gotta. It's a family, We're wrestling for each other, and when you have those guys that are just as good as you going out there and like Mateo upsetting state champ Vasquez. That was just like you getting goosebumps almost talking about it because we just bonded so close and we all rose to get the occasion and ended up beating them.
Absolutely. Now talk about how now, of course, being so close in that brotherhood you guys have there. What do you tell yourselves to detach and basically like not get too caught up in it? Because we all know that if someone we're very close to loses or wins, like a big upset win or a big upset loss, that could affect us internally. So how do you stay in your own head and focus on what you have to do when you have teammates that are so close?
Yeah, it's pretty hard, when you're in that big atmosphere. It's like you got to keep to yourself, but you want to lift these guys up, like these younger guys that need the speaking to. I think we had a lot of good leaders like Jimmy and Mike Delgado. They were just like always putting it into our minds, and when you go off, you're going to your warm up. You're like you want to do it for them, and you're keeping yourself. You want to wrestle for these guys because they put so much into it for you.
Yeah, absolutely. What's some of the ways that you guys get yourself ready, like in the locker room before everything? Is it hyping it up, making it into a really big deal? Is it keeping each other calm? Is it more joking around? Is it like I know everyone's a little bit different, but I would assume there's got to be some consistency between matches so there's not inconsistent performance.
Yeah, I think everyone tries to be serious, and I think our locker room's pretty calm, but we always have jokes. Everyone's always busting each other's chops, and I think it takes your mind away from it. All the pressure and stuff, and it really like loosens you up before you're about to wrestle.
That's an important point right there, Ryan, because I feel like a lot of guys, and I know I fell into this trap, and being younger was thinking that you have to be overly serious and there can't be any joking around. Now, it's not saying like we always say there's a difference between joking around strategically versus screwing around where you're just
Yeah,
erratic and off the walls. But like obviously can't be that. But wrestlers, a lot of wrestlers are afraid to not be so serious because they feel like it's going to take something away from their game. And it sounds like what you're saying is what I hear a lot of high wrestlers saying, that it doesn't take away from your game. It actually enhances it if you're doing it with a purpose, right?
yeah. So I think having you gotta have fun. You have so much seriousness, like training and cutting weight. It starts like wear on your brain mentally, and like everything being so serious, you get tired, mentally exhausted, and then it translates to the physically exhausted. And when you're joking around with your best friends, getting ready to compete in the biggest competitions, it really lifts you up mentally.
Yeah, that's a great point right there. I always tell people it's like your cell phone. You only have so much
Yeah,
battery life on your phone, and stress takes more energy out of or more battery life out of your personal, battery, more than a 2 or 3 hour practice. I mean, you go through
yeah,
2 hour, 3 hour practice and still feel good. Whereas when we're stressed out, we could tank hard in a short amount of time. So keeping that battery life charged internally, mentally, and emotionally is a big deal, like you said right there.
yeah, definitely.
How do you do that over the course of a tournament?
Yeah, so the 3-day tournaments like Fargo, those are the hardest. That's like you got to make the weight that last day. You're usually 5 or 6 pounds over that night before. Got to run or whatever you got to do to get the weight off. It's like you got to stay with yourself. You got to trust in everything you've done. You know, you do all this training and it's just getting that weight off, you know, looking past it. You know, it's just 2 mile run, 3 mile run. You know, what's it going to do in the long run? You got to really keep your mental focus and know why you're there and what brought you there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great stuff, Ryan. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it.
Yep,
Super
thank you for
32
having me.
champ, Ryan Burton, St. Joe's Montvale, VTech. Make sure you're
Yep,
following him. Make sure you stay with him. Thanks, brother.
awesome. Thank you.